Welcome to Bruce Hurwitz Presents Meet the Experts. I'm your host, Bruce Hurwitz of Hurwitz Strategic Staffing. You can find us on the web at hsstaffing.com. I hope you'll consider us for all your staffing, career counseling, and professional writing needs. Momentarily, I will be joined by Myrna Goldbaum. We'll be discussing palmistry and soulmates. Meet the Experts is sponsored by P&K CPAs. P&K is a full-service accounting firm. They provide accounting and consulting services to businesses ranging from startups to small and mid-cap companies to nonprofits, as well as high net worth individuals. Contact them today for a free consultation at info@pk-cpas.com or call them at 973-882-8810. They will be happy to be of service. Myrna, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
It is my pleasure. Now, please take a moment or two and introduce yourself to our viewers, and I'm going to share the screen again so that they can see your 4 books.
Okay. Well,
go ahead.
Okay, so that's beautiful. My name is Myrna Goldbaum, and I'm an author, a palmist, and a soulmate specialist. I started in 1949 when I was 10 years old. So I've been doing it a long time, and I love what I do. My mission is to help people who are in a quandary, need to know which path they should be on. And I have fun with every reading that I do.
Thank you for that. What exactly is a palmist?
Well, it's the study of the palm of the hand, the lines, the symbols, the mounts, everything that's on the hand. So they say your eyes are the spirit of your soul. I think the hands are. The hands reveal a plethora of information.
Well, since you mentioned the hand, let me share a picture that you sent, a diagram of a hand. What are we looking at here?
Okay, that's my hand. It happens to be the right hand. And what I'm showing is the lifeline, the work line, the bracelets at the bottom, the love line, all the normal things, reproduction. Those 5 things are on every hand. The type of palmistry I do is Chinese or Oriental. It's not Hindu. And they have the fate line and the love line and different things than I do, but it comes out the same answer. And I think fate is what our life is. So I don't talk about the fate line. It is your fate. It's what you do with what you have or what God gave you.
The other lines are fairly obvious, but what is bracelets?
Okay, at the wrist, if you were to take your elbow, put it on your stomach, aim your hand towards your nose and bend it, you'd see a whole lot of rings there. You see some rings on your wrist?
Yeah. Fine.
About 3 rows should be there for you.
What does that signify?
Each row equals 25 years. It's where you have to make an answer, find a solution to a problem, answer a question to yourself, figure something out. So the first 25 years, usually your parents make most of your decisions till you're about 18 or 20. Then the second 25 years, you have all your things to do by yourself or with a partner. So in school, they teach us that when they chop a tree down, we know how old the tree is by the rings. Humans have a way to tell how old they are right now by the rings, the bracelets on the wrist.
There's something that surprised me. I was coming back from a networking event, and all of a sudden, I had never paid any attention before. I saw in a small strip mall near me, so suburban New York.
Okay.
Basically, the hand chart that I just showed.
Right.
I don't know if it was the exact same thing. It's not important. But there was a palm reader in a suburban New York strip
Right.
mall.
Did you go in?
Now years ago, you would find palm readers in carnivals.
Right, they were gypsies.
How did palm reading move from a carnival to a storefront?
Okay, because it's a science. And in 1967 in America, every medical school has their residents take one whole day of palmistry because they do consider it a science. And when a newborn baby is born, they can look at the palm because the hand is only this big, but it has things on there that show congenital heart, different things that they need to know about right away. Then, because it is a science, it's becoming more known and more accepted than it was before. So the gypsies are the ones who put their signs out, and then they gyp the people. They say, "I'll light a candle for you. Give me $100," and that's all fake. And they make up happy little stories, and I don't do that. I tell the truth. I don't know how to lie, so I tell people what I see. Okay.
I'm smiling because I had a client who asked me about myself. And I said, well, one thing, I don't lie. And he said, why don't you lie? I said, it's not for any religious reason. It's very simple. I have enough trouble remembering the truth. If I have to remember all the lies, I won't know what's happening.
Well, I'm
Can
careful
any,
how I tell people. I mean, if I have something bad to tell somebody and they need to go to the doctor, I don't diagnose. I just say, I see a lump in your breast. And they go, oh, been there 10 years. So I just tell them to go.
when you can anyone be a palmist? Do you have to have some
No,
sort of
you just have to
certification?
study. I learned from a library book my mother gave me.
So
So
anybody in essence can put out a shingle, as they say, and say they're a palm reader.
they could, but some people never studied it. They make it up. That's what I said. They
I
look
understand
at a
that.
hand and they say, you will meet a tall, dark stranger. I hate that.
Exactly,
I
exactly,
hate that because that isn't.
exactly. That was actually the example I was going to use. Now I can't. But there's no certifications, there's no licensure.
Well, I belong to a couple of good club organizations that are palmists in the world, international palmistry.
But you
So
don't have to have a certification
no, you
put
don't
out there,
have to
and you
because
don't have to have a license.
no, but I do. I'm still working at 85. And I'm doing fairs. I just did one last weekend. Everybody sits down, and when they walk away, they go, "Oh, that was awesome! I can't believe you saw that." And I'm only doing 15 minutes at a time. I could do 4 hours on a hand. There's that much information in there because a hand is worth gold. It's got everything that you need to know to get through life.
What type of reading do you give? Let's start at the beginning. Why does somebody go to you from the get-go?
Well, because they're upset about something. They're afraid for their money because the economy isn't so good right now. They're afraid of where they live, but they're afraid to move, or they're afraid of giving up the security of being married after 23 years, but they're in a loveless combination. And they go, I don't know what to do. And I say, are your kids grown and married? Yes, they're all out of the house. So I say, then you don't have to stay and sacrifice yourself. I never tell anybody what to do. I just show them the opportunity. I say, this is what's here. You can either make a change or keep on right where you are. It's up to
So that
them. It's
sounds
free
like
will.
logical advice that
That's mostly consulting. What
that a
I do is
consultant would
consulting.
give, that if
Well, I've guided a lot of people on career changes. I put 3,000 people together, which is 1,500 people, 3,000 couples,
Mhm.
because I'm sort of a matchmaker on top of everything else.
My point is that if you are an intelligent person,
Mhm.
if you are a good listener, if you know what questions to ask, you
Yeah.
can give anybody advice. So
Right. I give
why do you
advice, but
have
I
to?
don't tell them what to do. I just say, this is what's here.
No,
Except
you said you give them the
to
opportunities.
show them
You can
what's there.
stay
Yeah,
with your spouse, you can leave your spouse. You
right.
can stay with your job, you can leave your job.
That's why they come to me. They're in a quandary. Their mind is going da, 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 back and forth, and they don't know what they want. And so they come to me, and I give them a little push out the door. And by showing them, they now know what to do.
Well, if they now know what to do, that's because you didn't just give them opportunities, you gave them a specific answer.
I give them a little hope. That's the whole thing.
But the hope is towards a certain action. You'll have a better life if you leave your spouse. You'll have a better life if you quit your
You
job.
change where you're living, or if you don't like the job you have and the people irritate you, don't quit. Find something first and then switch.
Now, if somebody's coming to you and they say their problem is a relationship, work, whatever,
Yeah.
then you already know
No,
that
they
they're
don't tell me what the
probably
problem.
looking
They
for a
don't. No,
solution.
they don't tell me the problem. I start with my rigmarole. I do my normal thing, and when I get to that section, I say, "So your problem is with your relationship," and they go, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" Well, I know it at the front door when I shake their hand. I get it. That's what psychic is, and I just pick up. I read the ethers, or I read the vibration of a person. So people have a frequency they vibrate, and I'm a 4, and the most you can have is a 5. And some people have none, or they vibrate at 1 or 2 or 1.5. I'm a high energy, and so I can pick up other people's energy, and everything in the world's energy. We know that. So when I pick up someone's energy and I see they're really crying inside, but they're not crying when they're here, and they took their wedding ring off, and I say, "So you're in a loveless marriage?" They go, "Yeah." And then they start crying, and then I cry with them, and then we get over it. And then I tell them what they could do about it. And if they don't do it, I can't help it.
So you're very empathetic. That's what I'm hearing.
Right. And I also see, I don't want to, but sometimes I see their dead relatives come in with them. And I'll say, "Did your grandma die maybe a month or 2 ago or a few weeks ago?" "Yeah, how'd you know that?" I say, "Was she 5 feet tall?" "Yeah." "Did she carry her pocketbook under her arm like a black leather clutch bag all of her life?" "Yeah, she never let go of that." I said, "Oh, grandma's standing over there." And then we both cry. I cry because I don't want to see that, but they come right in with them.
Now, do these people show up unannounced or do they make an appointment?
Right. They don't, sometimes I don't even see it. Sometimes I hear it. Sometimes I hear a whole bunch of stuff going in both.
No. I mean the actual person, not
No,
the.
they're not an actual person. They're just
No. You're misunderstanding me. I'm not talking about the grandmother.
oh, who?
I'm
Okay.
talking about the grandchild. Who
Okay.
now, when the person who is in a
Um,
quandary
they don't they don't
comes to
invite
you,
them in, and neither do I. It just happens. It just happens.
women.
They're
I don't
invisible,
think
but
you're
then they
hearing me.
visualize.
I'm not interested in the ghost. I'm
I'm not
interested
either. It's not a ghost. It's a spirit. It's like it's
whatever
their,
you want to call it. All
yeah.
right. My question is, when someone wants to meet with you,
Okay.
do they have to make an appointment or can they just walk in?
No, I have to do it by appointments
Okay.
because the most I can
And
do is 4.
okay, I understand. That's totally legitimate. Do you have an opportunity then to research the individual?
No, I don't know anything about them.
So you don't
I
prepare
don't
in
look
any
them
way.
up on the internet. I don't check anything about them. So I just sit down with them, and I start from there.
Okay.
I've done famous people that I did know things about because you read magazine articles about them. But then when I look in their hand, they're the same as us, regular people.
People are people,
They have a
despite their
bigger
bank
ego, but
accounts.
their ego is out to here. But other than that, they're okay.
I know plenty of people with huge egos. And when I say you have to leave when you go to work, you have to leave your ego at the door. Oh, I don't have a problem with that. My ego is fine. They have a problem. They just don't want
Yeah,
to admit it.
yeah.
But that's another story. I want to get to both the palmists and the soulmates. So we've done pretty well with the palmists. I think everybody understands. I do have one question. Do you have to have, or do you have insurance in case somebody comes back and says, you told me to do X, I did X, and it ruined my life. I'm suing you.
No, because I don't tell them what to do. I show them what's there. So I'm protected by liability because I'm not sending them. I'm not saying you need to go right now and get a divorce. I say, if you want a divorce, here it is on your hand. You don't have to, but you're born with the lines.
Okay.
And
So you give people opportunities. You explain to people their opportunities.
I show them what's in their future. Yeah.
Well, if you're showing them what's in their future, then you're telling them that they're going to get a divorce, or
No, I'm showing them the present today where they are, plus what could happen if they make
what could happen. So you're giving them some indication of the possibilities for the future. You're not telling them anything specific.
Important. Well, change is what's important. They either can change or stay the same.
Yeah, but if they're coming to you, they obviously want change.
They want somebody to guide them. Yeah,
Maybe they just want somebody to tell them what they already know, and they don't want to hear it from a relative or a friend.
Right. They want somebody objective who will reinforce what they already know, but then they can't make the decision unless somebody sort of helps them.
And you help them by showing them that they have two opportunities, and you sort of give them a little push, but nothing so forceful that would entail liability.
Well, but I don't have that liability because I'm not telling him what to, so I'm protected.
Exactly.
I'm careful how I say things.
I understand. Now, let me show the chart you gave. Oops. I almost hit the wrong button and ended this interview prematurely.
I made that up, but
soulmate characteristics.
Okay. So first of all, you have to know that a soulmate means you lived on this planet before, which is called reincarnation, and you bump into that same energy this time, and that's called karmic debt payback. So let's say
it's called what? Karma?
It's karma, and it's past life things. So I'd say that all these characteristics you already have, the other person has to have them. So if they're spirited, selfish, not spiritual, that's not going to work.
Okay. Hang on. Let me ask my first question. Why is there nothing? I don't know if you can see the arrow, the cursor, but why is there nothing in the top triangle?
Because when I made the diagram, I ran out of, I didn't need to put it. But actually, the diagram,
that's an honest answer. All right.
Okay, I call
that. So people
need
need to have a similar belief system. They need to be sexually compatible. They need to have the same degree of spirituality. There needs to be a physical attraction.
I call it a match set.
Okay. And they have to know how to be able to communicate with each other.
Right. So some people are non-communicators. They just answer yes or no, and they can't have a conversation. You don't want to have to pull every word out of somebody. You want opinions. You want
absolutely. My only question is, so what's the big deal? What's so special? This seems to be very basic.
It isn't, because a lot of people don't have all that. Some people are atheists and the person they're involved with isn't. So then they fight over religion.
Then they shouldn't be together. They're going to have problems.
That's right. It should be similar. That's why I said similar.
Yeah. So this just
compatibility. Let's say if you're not on the same page with someone and they want it 17 times a week and you don't like it, that's not going to work.
Yeah, no.
You like it, but you want it to be spontaneous.
This is all common sense.
Okay, so all those have to be in a line.
Yeah, fine. I'm going to, unless there's a reason to keep it up, I will stop the share.
No, you don't have to.
Everyone can see us. Matchmaking seems to be a very difficult endeavor, because
What's
most people who who try to set somebody up do it because they want to say, and I'm smiling because I know of a few cases where they say, I made this match. I introduced them. Now they're getting married. And when the couple gets divorced, well, I really didn't have anything to do with it. All right. So
okay. What happens is,
matchmaking, you are not giving options. You are saying, you should meet this person. And liability immediately comes into state if you're
no, that's
somebody like me.
no. I say you accidentally on purpose have to bump into the energy of that person.
Oh, so
Not
you're not saying, Joe, you should meet
no,
Jane.
no, I'm
You're
saying
saying,
I think
Joe, you have to go out into the world and you will meet somebody. And now I'm going to share the screen again. And if you have these, what was it, 5 different compatibilities, let's call characteristics, to use your word, then go for it. If not, may not be such a good idea. Although let's take spirituality and change it to politics.
politics,
Yeah,
people fight over politics.
I know that. I
Yeah.
had 2 friends when I lived in Israel. They were fairly unique. The guy was well over 6 feet, and the gal was barely 5 feet tall. So there was you immediately, like, you're smiling, and you have never seen
I
them.
know it was like Mutt and Jeff. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking of Laurel and Hardy, but I wasn't sure if that was right. In any event, they met at some political demonstration. They were on opposite sides,
Oh
and I don't
wow.
remember who was what. But one of the fellows who was with the tall guy, one of the fellows who was with him got into a heated argument with his future wife. And he was also kind of tall, but everybody there was taller than this woman.
Well, that
And
could
he
tear a
pulled her
relation.
off and said, stop, pick on somebody your own side. It's our own size. That's not what we do. We argue verbally, not physically. And she was a bit appreciative. And they went out and they eventually got married. One of them was an actual communist, and one of them was a far-right conservative,
Okay.
right? Polar opposites. They had one rule: never discuss politics in the
Politics.
home.
Okay.
And
What
they
I
never
said
did.
is, but they were like-minded on other things, or they
Oh,
wouldn't
sure,
have been compatible.
sure,
Well, I
sure.
tell people look for like-mindedness, somebody that's similar to you in thought and deed. What you do and they do.
But it doesn't have to be everything. You can,
No, you have to have a life. You have to have your interests, they have theirs, then you have some together. The whole thing is all growth. If they don't grow together and expand their world, then they're stuck. So,
I'm smiling because I had run-ins years past with matchmakers, meaning usually wives of friends. And I'd always warn them, you don't want to do this. And
oh,
I'd
you
say to the
actually told them.
husband, you have to understand this. I will destroy your wife, and the woman will no longer be her friend. I hate matchmaking.
Well,
And
but actually, I give a person the phone numbers of who I think they are compatible with. Then
mhm,
I check with the woman to make sure it's okay if the guy calls her.
mhm,
Then it's up to them to do what they do.
okay.
I
But
have
you don't
scrapbooks.
take any responsibility for putting the 2 of them together.
No, once I just give them the introduction. I have scrapbooks that fat, full of thank you notes, wedding invitations. Now I'm getting baby announcements from some. But the thing is, I give a wedding check to whoever I put together. I don't go to all those weddings because there's 3,000 of them.
Mhm.
But what I do is I give them a check.
Think of the chicken you could have devoured by now.
Well, the thing is, it's up to them to make it work. And if they get a divorce, I'm sorry. I didn't do it to them.
Myrna, I've run out of questions, so I'm going to share the screen again
Okay,
and put up your contact information. And I'm going to ask you my last question. Is
okay.
there anything I did not ask you that you wish I had asked you? And if I had asked you, what would you have said?
Okay, if you had asked me, do I do internet readings and you didn't? Yes, I do all over the world. And I've talked to people in 93 countries so far. The people look on my website, which is right there, www.myrnalou.com. Then they see how to email me a handprint from their phone or however they want to take it. They send money through PayPal, and I do a 6-page report typed, single spaced, big long report.
Well, Myrna, this has been
Um,
interesting. I thank you profusely for coming on, and I'm sure our viewers do as well.
well, thank you for having me. I always have a good time.
Lovely.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. And as always, please stay focused on success.